like Toastmasters in here? It's a delightful evening today. And an equally delightful meeting is awaiting you today. So the theme for today's meeting is life is a journey, enjoy the flight. Now this theme reminds me of an evening a few years back when I was flying for my first trip to Germany. Now I was traveling in a very comfortable flight, but my mind was racing to the days of my masters when I was studying in IIT Kharagpur. So with my part-time stipend, I used to mainly travel in general compartments of trains very frequently. And I used to sit on the floor near the door and I used to enjoy the cool breeze while looking past stations. But when I got my first job, I could afford to travel in sleeper class trains. And now I was flying in Lufthansa Airlines. So when I looked at the journey from Kharagpur to Germany, I could observe that my level of comfort may have changed, but the journey of life has been just as beautiful. So now that we embark on the journey of this meeting, let me remind you all about the 3 tenets of Toastmaster meetings. Number 1, please don't walk around or move around when someone is speaking, as it can be a bit disturbing for the speaker. Number 2, please not say anything offensive or hurtful in religious or gender-related context. Number 3, your phones have been busy all day. Let us give them a break by putting them on silent. I'll give you all 10 seconds for that. Now the next speaker to come on stage, her journey in Toastmasters has been just as delightful as her journey in life. Please put your hands together for Toastmaster Hannah Victoria.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Sai Deepak, for putting the house in order. And this Toastmaster has been sick for the last 2 weeks. He had a ligament tear and yet he has a limp as of now. I'd like you to please join me to welcome him back to the club. And a very good evening, my fellow Toastmasters and most welcome guests.
Good evening.
I now declare meeting number 1339 open. How many of you are first time guests here? First time. Okay, either of you, what brings you to Toastmasters, to the Bangalore Toastmasters Club?
So, basically, I have just moved to Bangalore from Kolkata.
Okay.
And so I was introduced to Toastmasters by my elder brother years here. So he told me if you actually want to know the essence of Bangalore, the of Bangalore, and also so there is this gap in the personality. So this is the best place from where you can start off your Bangalore journey, and that is the major point that I'm talking about.
Great, thank you so much. Our members, how do we welcome our guests? It is absolutely true what he said. Toastmasters is a place, is a melting point where we meet so many different people, listen to so many different perspectives. And the Bangalore Toastmasters Club is one of the oldest, finest and best clubs across India. Don't you agree, members?
Yes.
Great. To know more about our club, you can kindly meet our Vice President Membership, Toastmaster Surekha, after the meeting, and she will brief you whatever queries you have about the club or about Toastmasters. The minutes of the meeting 1338 was sent by WhatsApp and mail by our Secretary Toastmaster Bruno. Any amendments to the minutes presented? So can we consider it as passed?
Yes.
Okay, I pass minutes of the meeting 1338. For the longest time, I could never remember my est moments. If somebody asked me, or if I just sat down to recollect, what is my saddest moment, or my proudest moment, or happiest moment, nothing would come to my mind immediately. After joining Toastmasters, after a lot of yarn shots, I realized that I'm not living fully in the present. And my counselor also, she mentioned, she used to keep emphasizing that don't worry about the outcome of anything, whatever you do. The outcome is anyways not in your control. So just enjoy the journey. If the outcome is good, very good. If the outcome is not what you expected, that's also you have to learn to accept. Because when you look back, you will be able to connect the dots. Recently, I got shifted to another department in my company. And I got into sales. Sales is something which I did ages back. And so I was pretty nervous as to how I'm going to do this. And then at Toastmasters, I've listened to 2-3 messages. I think there's one project on social media. There was Toastmaster Kamlesh and Toastmaster Guru who gave us a detailed presentation on how social media can help us. And I was not active on social media, especially LinkedIn. So I thought, let me give it a try. I may have launched that, opened that account maybe 10 years, 12 years ago with maybe 10, 20 contacts, that's it. But I thought, let me try to connect with the industry. I don't know what it's going to result in, but I'm absolutely enjoying connecting with the industry. There is a quote from Eleanor Roosevelt. She says, yesterday is history, tomorrow is a mystery, and today is a gift. That is why it is called present. So my friends, in life if you see, we've never arrived enough. We always look forward to something else. So the best life hack is encapsulated in our theme, which says, life is a journey. So enjoy the ride or the flight. Moving forward, I'd like to introduce to you the Toastmaster of today. He is also the MC. This Toastmaster joined the Bangalore Toastmasters Club recently, last month, but he has been a Toastmaster earlier. He's a triathlete, so he does swimming, he's passionate about swimming, cycling and running. He's an entrepreneur and his vision is to own an office in the World Trade Center. So please join me to welcome Toastmaster Jeevan.
I read this reel about Mahendra Singh Dhoni. I never worried about the results. I always worried about the actions that I'm going to take. And I was able to recap back to your speech, ma'am. Thank you so much. So, good evening, ladies and gentlemen.
Good evening.
No energy. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen.
Good evening.
That's the energy. A key in my hand. Started walking towards my car. Opened the door, sat in the driver's seat. I set my navigation right and started my journey. I had a bird eye view on the rear mirror to ensure no accident, to put an eye on other vehicles. Through this journey, I was able to realize one important thing. It's okay, we look into the rear mirror oftenly. We do set navigations right, but important thing is we need to be present at the road. Toastmasters, in our life, we go back thinking about the future, what might happen. Or we nag into the past, what has happened. But between these two, we forget to live in the present. So, let's be more mindful, to be more present in the present, to get more in from our life. With that, ladies and gentlemen, I welcome you all for the today's meeting number 1339 with the title, Life is a
Journey.
Enjoy the
Flight.
Yes. One visionary person by name Raxis Medley started this Toastmaster movement in the year 1954. Has its branches in 149 plus countries with 3 lakh members, and these sessions are divided into 3 segments. Number 1, right prepare speech session, where speakers are given enough amount of time to get prepared well by writing the script, get mentored and deliver in front of the audience. And number 2, table topic sessions, where our table topic master call our members to come on the stage to test their impromptu skill by giving the topic to speak about 2 minutes. And last, we have general evaluation, where our general evaluator will evaluate our members, give feedback about their journeys. Now, it's time for me to welcome general evaluator on the stage. It's been 1 month I've been into the club, and I saw her helping nature, who always proactive in helping others and who likes to travel with the good music, who is none other than Toastmaster Nazina on the stage.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen.
Good evening.
Louder.
Good evening.
This is your pilot in command, Nazreen speaking from the Loyal deck. The current weather is partly cloudy and with a visibility of 5 kilometers. The ground temperature is reported to be 26 degrees Celsius. On behalf of the aircraft BTMC 1339, I would like to introduce my crew who will be assisting me on my flight. I call my crew. Guess what? Dean. I'm sure many of you know what it is. It is me. So the crew is me. Dean. The first person is the timer. Toastmaster Vishnu, please come on stage and spell out your role. Can we have a round of applause?
Hello, good evening, fellow Toastmasters and welcome guests. I'll be the timer. Before that, I would like to, even myself came back after 2 weeks of a break from mundane tasks. As we know that in terms of the effort that we are spending in the professional work. At the same time, I would like to take this opportunity for all of us to be part of this discussion in the meeting and see how we can learn, challenge ourselves, learn more, and then encourage others. So with this, what would be my role as a tag? I would be a timer, wherein I would be noting down the timing part of every speaker. So I'll be using 3M approach and probably triple R. We all know about triple R movie, but 3M, which stands for, as the prepared speeches, we all know between 5 to 7 minutes. So 5 minutes takes a minimum effort time of what the speaker was on the stage in terms of the delivering the speech. And then the mean, which is the average, could be 6 minutes, and 7 minutes, which is the maximum time which is being allotted for the individual. So that's the 3M approach, what we look forward from every speakers, and the
the speakers from the other division, the group. And second one, what would be my triple R approach? What I will be doing it is probably I'll be reminding in terms of what the effort being spent on the stage. If I cross, if you any of the speaker has crossed in terms of the time part of it, I will note it down. And secondly, what I will do is I'll be recording it also, and then probably I will report it at the end of during the end of the meeting. That's the triple R. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Vishwanath, for that crisp report and your role being spelled out. Now, the second person may I call upon our counter, Toastmaster Aditya.
Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and guests.
Good evening.
Life is a journey, but anybody who has lived enough knows that it can be full of hiccups. And in a Toastmaster speech, the hiccups basically count of and, you know, I know, they know, I don't know. So, to make this life, the journey of life, a seamless flight, my job today is to help not only identify those, but also make the fellow Toastmasters and the guests who get a chance to speak aware of how many crutch words that they have used, and also make them aware not to use them in the future. Okay? That's going to be my role for the day. Back to you, Toastmaster.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Aditya. May I now call upon the convener, Toastmaster Kulraj, to spell out his role.
Everybody, good evening.
Good evening.
Well, as the grammarian today, it's my duty to introduce the word of the day, which is mundane today. That's used by Mr. Vishwanathan in the start. Mundane. So, what does the word mean? It's very ordinary, thus not interesting. The meaning of the word is that it's very ordinary and not so interesting. An example for the word uses of this word. Well, I'm not interested in mundane matters such as paying bills or, shopping. Yeah, so yeah, thank you. And being a grammarian, it's also my duty to pay a keen attention of good usage of the English language, and also take notes of places where it can be a little better. So yeah, that's all. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Gururaj, for spelling out your role. Thank you, my Dean, for spelling out your role to the whole club. Thank you so much. I'm sure we all have had a mundane week. How many of you all have had a mundane week? I did not have a mundane week. I really enjoyed my week because I feel I was not there in the station, so I enjoyed myself. Yes. Today, I shall be using the Robert's Rule of Order so that everyone gets the right to be respected, and also one gets not to waste time. I shall report with my dean and personal evaluators at the end of the session when called upon. Thank you, and all team Toastmaster of the day.
So thank you, Commander, with the crew members. Are you ready to help our pilots to land there?
Yes.
Thank you. So let's begin. Attention passengers, flight number BDMC 1339 as taking off in next 10 seconds. I request everyone to tighten your seatbelt. And let's welcome Toastmaster Ankit to read out the guideline for our first pilot.
The speaker is attempting level 3 project 3, second elective. The purpose of the speech is to inspire the audience. Please note, the time limit is 5 to 7 minutes. With that, all the questions.
Thank you. So, I totally motivated with the word called inspire, because The statement which I liked from her is, no matter what, keep walking. No matter what, keep walking. If you fall down, get up, start running. What an amazing motto you have in your life. With this, I want to welcome our first speaker of the day, none other than Toastmaster Priyanka. Toastmaster Priyanka, know your priorities, know your limits. Toastmaster Priyanka.
That's my speech title. How many of you are trying to strike a balance between work and passion? Please raise your hands. Me too. Two things that I'm very passionate about is my workout and Toastmasters. If I need to do one, I need to sacrifice the other. I don't remember last when I hit the workout station. That is the only place that I can be myself, channelize my energies, my frustration, my stress, my biggest stress buster, but I'm unable to do it. Caught in this whirlpool of work, we generally miss out on the most important things, moments, and occasion. Like very recently, my cousin sister had come down from Delhi after a very long time. She had planned an evening out for all of us. I excused myself saying, I'm very busy and I cannot make it. We are so close, no matter what, whenever she came down to Bangalore, we planned to spend the time together. And this time, I missed it. Something very unexpected from me. She was so upset that she left without meeting me and dropped a message. Her words hit me hard. Her visit was a planned one, but yet I could not take out time. What went wrong? Can anyone tell me? Sorry? No.
Prioritize.
Something very close. Electric.
Traffic flow.
No. I got myself into a never-ending river of responsibilities. I took more work than my capacity and did not prioritize. One of the biggest reasons many face double stress is because they do not know how much to take and prioritize things. Have you struggled, in spite of working from home, to sit with your family and have a meal? I have. I started to realize when my people started to assume and accept my absence in every occasion. And second time it hit me harder when my father told me, you have no time for us. That night I paused and started to reflect what I was doing. At the end of the day, was I happy? Satisfied? Was I getting a lump sum of bonus for working tirelessly? No. I was just taking up work with no clarity. For example, I was working on a project that had a clear deadline of 2 months, which required my complete attention because of the challenges it may encounter. In the beginning of second month, my manager requested me to take up another new developing project. What do you think I would have done? Yes, without even giving a thought, I started working parallelly on both, staying awake 2 to 3 in the night. So obvious, I was physically and mentally tiring myself, diluting my focus. been very clear to my manager with regard to the challenges project 1 included and taken the other project after the completion of the first one. Wouldn't it make things easier for me? At the end of the day, when I'm winding off all my tasks, I would have felt a sense of satisfaction, accomplished for specializing my knowledge with the project that I was working for. How many of you have put yourselves into this unpleasant situation unknowingly? Please give a thought. Your situation might be different, but the reason might be same. We unknowingly take up so much that we hamper our own health, pressurizing ourselves. So what can we do? Think differently. Play in PAR, P-A-R, where P stands for pause. Yes, pause to reflect and list down your task with the timelines. Second, A, accept. Know how much to accept. Now since you have listed down your task with timelines, you know your capacity now. And lastly, the most important, relentlessly triage, which means prioritize your things according to urgency. Research shows that the biggest problem individuals face is that we do not know how to differentiate between important and relatively unimportant tasks and react with the same response to everything, stressing ourselves. So how to prioritize a task? Can anyone tell me?
4 quadrant method.
Yes, we all know, but we fail to apply. It's very important. Firstly, differentiate between importance and urgency. Identify what is important by understanding your true goal. Consider your efforts and avoid competing with your priorities. And secondly, the most important, once you have your task list down, characterize them. Characterize them between 1, urgent and important. These tasks should be done as soon as possible. Second, important but not urgent. Decide when to do and schedule it. Third, urgent but not important. Delegate these tasks to someone else. And lastly, neither important nor urgent. Knock them out from your list. I have started to work towards it and get to master it. But I can say I started to feel a huge difference at home and at work. At the end of the day, I am satisfied, accomplished, both personally and professionally. If unknowingly you all have got yourself into this vicious circle, it's not too late, not too early. Try in PAR, where P is pause to reflect, A is to accept, know how much to accept, and R, relentlessly triage, know your priorities. Over to you.
Toastmaster Priyanka, I just learned importance of saying no. So how many of you learned this importance of saying no in your life? But not to the Toastmaster or Vice President. Thank you. So now it's time for the pilot 2. I welcome Toastmaster George to read out the guidelines.
Good evening, Toastmasters and all my dear guests. The speaker has chosen the dynamic leadership pathway and level 1 and project 2. There are 2 purpose statements. First one is to practice applying feedback and serve as a speech parameter to communicate the meeting. And the purpose of the speech, the member to present a speech and receive the feedback and apply. Please type a note that speech duration is 5 to 7 minutes. I wish all the best for the speaker.
Thank you, George. Even in the midnight, sometimes I get scared when I watch this Conjuring. But our next speaker show how many horror movies we want, but you never fear. A beautiful statement about the life. Life is like an ice cream. Just enjoy it. Focus on things which you can do rather than which is not under our control. With this beautiful thought, I want to welcome Toastmaster Vijay sir on the stage. Three psychological tracks to become a super confidence. Toastmaster Vijay sir.
Thank you, Toastmaster, for that wonderful introduction. Marcus Garvey once said, confidence is one such trait where you can win before you begin. If you have trust, belief, and credence within you, then this is that one trait that you need to have so that you emerge victorious or reach a level where you want to go. That is self-confidence. And we all require those tips and tricks in life which will help us to catapult ourselves and reach that stage faster and quicker. Mr. Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, my dear friends, and all the confident people sitting over here, good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening. How many of you here want to make $25,000 in cash sitting here based on a 25-year-old research done by Dr. David Lewis? So this is a very simple thing. Just look at the person who is sitting next to you and give a smile. Because according to Dr. David Lewis, the amount of endorphin that you release within you by giving a smile is equal to owning a $25,000 cash. It can be as simple as helping someone cross the road or helping a kid climb that escalator in the metro station. What you get in return is that beautiful smile. I remember this small story in an ancient era when there was a small automobile workshop that was set up in a village where there were 4,000 workers working in that floor shop, and it was a pre-mobile era, and the shop floor used to work only between 9 to 6. And there was this one gentleman who was working very hard, and he was working on a lathe machine which had some issue, and he decided, let me fix this so that I'm more fruitful tomorrow. He was so much engrossed in that work that he forgot that it was 15 minutes past 7 and all his co-workers had left, and to his utter shock, the door was closed and locked. He was worried now, what will he do? Because it was a chilly winter and he had to spend his time under that roof for the entire night. But to his utter shock, at 30 minutes past 8, the security person came and opened the lock of the door and came in searching for something. He was surprised to see the security personnel. That's when the security personnel came to him and said, I knew there was something amiss today on the floor, because out of the 4,000 employees, there were just 4 employees who used to greet him with a smile every day in the morning and greet him with a smile every day in the evening. And he knew that today I did not receive that smile. There was a mismatch in the count. And just to confirm myself, I came back and ensured that particular smile was not left back at the shop floor. So smile is that one important ingredient, that's the first powerful trait which will help you display that self-confidence and make yourself more successful in your life. So my dear friends, smile every mile. The second important thing is confronting with fears. We all know how fearful we are. So fear and self-doubt, anxiety and apathy is that one thing which will pull us down in our life. Fear can mean for us forget everything and run. But if you want to grow taller than your fear, then fear should mean to you face everything and rise. Only and only if you rise above your fears, that your fear will become smaller in front of you. I remember in one of the divisional contests, international speech contest of Toastmaster when I attended, I saw a lot of prepared speakers sitting in the aisle and they are not preparing for the speech. But some were going through the comedy clips in YouTube. Some of them were speaking to their friends, some listening music, and believe it or not, one elderly person, prepared speaker, was speaking to his grandkid. I asked them, why you are not participating in the prepared speech? That's when I realized that that's the way to conquer the fear, was one of the speakers told me. And this is how you conquer your fear. If you don't conquer it, it is going to conquer you someday. This is your second trait. The third and the most important thing is eye contact. Eye contact is the most underrated, underutilized, most powerful non-verbal communication in this world. If I have to share an incident from you, do you remember from your school days when there was a group of kids throwing papers at each other and suddenly the teacher used to turn around and walk up to the kid and say, Alok, were you the one who threw the piece of paper? Yes. Alok used to steal glances. And only if he was confident and he was not the one, he used to see into the eyes of the teacher and say, no, I am not the one, man. That's the impact of your eye contact. And for that one problem which Ankit had stated 2 years back, two sessions back, about how to win in relationship, this is that silver bullet. Because according to a famous psychological study by a Stanford professor, if anyone is able to make a 4 minute of uninterrupted eye contact with anyone, then you are going to fall in love with that person. Ankit, this is your silver bullet. So my dear friends, if you want to win in your life, the 3 psychological traits which will help you become more confident are: first, smile every mile; the second, confront your fears; and third, make an eye contact. Apart from these 3 traits, one important trait, irrespective of where we are, all should have, is believe in yourself. Otherwise, who else will? Back to Toastmaster.
Toastmaster Vijay Vasudevan. The name suggests Vijaya. The 3 main ingredients for the Vijaya is smile, overcome fear, and eye contact. Thank you so much for bringing that wonderful importance of these 3 things to our members. Thank you. Now, I call upon Saitra to read out the guidance for our speaker 3.
The purpose of this project is for the member to introduce himself or herself to the club and learn the basic structure of a public speech. Timer, please note, the time is 4 to 6 minutes.
Thank you, Chaitra. Our next speaker, who is ready to break the bricks of fear, walk towards the stage to inspire our audience, who is none other than DTM Teresa Sophia Ma.
You there! Come here! Come running! Come! Take this. Hold on your head. Attend. Meet every class and take signature here of every teacher. Understand? Run back! Dear Toastmasters and esteemed guests, that was Miss Lily of 3rd standard. And the poor girl who was called as a chatterbox was born in a city called Rome of the East. It was wonderfully covered by Arabian Sea one side and Western Ghats on the other side. Thanks to Miss Lily. You know why? Because this girl, one who called Chatterbox, had to meet every and each student of school. She knew everyone. She became popular. When she reached 7th standard, with a high margin of votes, she was voted as a head girl of the school. Thanks to Miss Lily. When she walked to 8th standard, of course, I can say high school, school was not known to her. And she was so bored with this mundane maths teacher, Miss Shambhavi Devi. As soon as she started Shambhavi Devi's class, this girl used to look at the window. Get out of the class, said Shambhavi teacher. And she threw the girl out of the class, and happily students sat and again started to watch it. Yeah! Yes! Wow! Mr. Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters and guests, guess what happened? She saw something there. Teenager. Her first love. Now go flashback to your first love. 13 years old girl. Fell in love. Yes. Yes, you are right. 13 years old girl fell in love with a sport called kabaddi. Next day, she came with her parents. Parents straight away took her to the PT teacher. PT teacher said, why here? You're supposed to meet principal. Parents said, we are not getting sleep. Whole night she is either kicking or pushing and only breathlessly studying kabaddi, 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 kabaddi. We want peace of mind and we want sleep. And we coach her. Believe it or not, this girl was captain of kabaddi when she reached 10th standard. And she brought laurels of trophies and gifts from the taluk level, the district level, and even state level. So everybody started to praise her. Moving from 10th, she finished 11th, 12th, and she did not have any choice to choose what to study. Being 10th child of a family, yes, don't get shocked, Mr. Puneet, 10th child of a family, she had to follow her 5 elder brothers, 4 elder sisters, and had to example for a younger brother. She did a post-graduation in mathematics. Luckily, she was a lecturer for a student. Guess who? Niece of Mrs. Shambhavi Devi. And she had come for PTA meeting too. Moving further, she joined as a lecturer and she felt this job is mundane because she was extrovert. What teaching? Same angle, left angle, right angle, straight angle. No, she did not have any interest in that. She moved from Rome of the city to Silicon City of India. When she moved here, she got a dream job in marketing and also a man of a better. These two, after 6 years, these two had theirs too. And went on further, went on 24 years almost. This heroine of the story did not know where she was. From extrovert become introvert because of the targets, family, the office, marketing, everything. Completely numb. Forgot to Only when she was asked to speak in one function, in few words, she stood up, fully right one. Only then she introspected and said, yes, I need something. And she came to a platform where she observed people are clapped and applauded to come to the stage and talk something, good or bad or sense or nonsense, still people clap. And she was really elevated to join there. And that platform is none other than Bangalore Toastmasters. And the person who is talking to you was yours truly, Teresa Sobiam. So one message, never lose hope. Never lose hope, because storms and problems comes in life, but they don't stand forever. Never lose hope. Over to you.
Yes, we have this habit of giving standing ovations to the speaker who takes her stage for the first time in any part. Thank you so much, ma'am. Even I really love the Toastmasters because whatever I say, they clap. Though right or wrong, they clap. That's motivate me to go forward so that I can correct, make a mistake, I can stand up, correct it, and move forward. So it was totally inspiring for me. Thank you so much for inspiring our audience also. And with that, it's time for us to move to the next speaker. I call upon Shashank Bhatt to read out the guidelines for our next speaker.
Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and guests. The speaker is attempting level 3 project Inspire Others from the Pathway Dynamic Leadership. The purpose of this project is for the member to practice writing and delivering a speech that inspires others. The purpose of this speech is for the member to inspire the audience. The speech is titled Mom and Pop. All the best to the speaker.
Thank you. As the title says, inspiration. Obviously, he is in L3 and he is very inspired to all the beginners who are new to the Toastmasters. With that, I want to welcome Aaron Kamath on the stage.
Let me start with a question. In the last week or so, how many of y'all have made an online order on any of these? Swiggy, Zomato, Myntra, Amazon, Agio, Farmeasy? Okay. Same period, last few days. How many of y'all have gone to a Saravana general store, a family mart, or a very local family run just down your street? Considerably less, although there is some of you all that still patronize such stores. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters.
Good evening.
And yes, you see, tiny shops known as your mom and pop stores, or otherwise your kirana stores, right? They account for 4/5 of the retail sector in India, which is worth nearly $900 billion, right? But you see, over the last few years, with the entry of all of these websites that I mentioned already, a lot of them are going out of business, right? And I'll tell you why. Some may be obvious, some not so, right? But let me start with a story. You don't care about numbers and you don't care about, some of the headliners. Growing up as a child, I once a week or once every fortnight, I used to go to a stationery shop. And back then there was obviously no ordering online. So everything from my first gel pen to my first geometry set to all remember the charts we used to buy naming the animals, naming the kinds of soil and the countries and the flags, they were all bought from the same shop. And what I loved most about it was that I could go, I could spend my time there, look through all of it, look at all his new stationeries, pencils and gel pens and all of that. And this elderly, tall, towering man would always welcome me with a smile, shake my hand. And I remember that very fondly. Last few years, he wasn't there anymore. The shop wasn't there anymore. He was. He had moved down the road to a much smaller store, only selling, tea, coffee, and cigarettes. I asked him what happened. He used to have such a big stationery shop, about half the size of this hall, in fact, to just a small kiosk down the road. He said, cost of risen, my rent has risen, and I don't get as much business as I used to before. I don't have as many people coming to me and buying notebooks and pens and charts anymore. And I couldn't afford the rent, so I moved to a very small place. You see, this is the kind of story, a very real life story. So I'm not going to tell you with percentages like I did at the start. This is a real life story that I experienced. A friend of mine told me a couple of weeks ago, who works on supply chain, that a salesman working at Reckitt could not sell a Dettol soap to the local kirana stores for more than a week because they didn't need the inventory. Why is this? Right? People are not patronizing these kind of stores anymore. Now you may come and say, Aaron, what are you saying? Small shops are also going online these days, right? JioMart has come and they're onboarding a lot of sellers. But let me tell you that accounts for 3% of the overall nearly 10 crore mom and pop kirana stores. And even then, when you take that into consideration, there are large trade-offs. You all would have heard, for example, that when you order food of Swiggy and Zomato, they take at least a 25 to 30% commission, right? Which leads the local establishments to increase their rates. Or they have to take losses. If something is returned, they have to bear the losses. So it is not profitable for some of them who have gone online to even sustain themselves online. And that's not my point that I'm trying to make, is patronize them directly, because that's what benefits them the most. Now, you may question me in your mind that some of them don't offer big discounts. And who's this guy standing on a stage telling me where and how to spend my money? Right? If I'm getting a discount on better price somewhere, it's my part of the money which I'm getting the same product for. Why should I not buy something online with a huge Amazon Great India sale discount, something like that? There are still some benefits to buying things locally and over the counter, from laptops to a strip of Dolo 650, largest selling the last couple of years. Right? What are these benefits? The first and most important is you see what you buy. There are so many cases where electronics are returned, refurbished, repacked, and sold on e-commerce sites. Right? I experienced that. And when I have to buy electronic, I prefer to go to a shop. There's so many instances, especially for medicines. Right? You see the expiry date when buying something. Edibles, FMCGs. These are the kind of things which are still better in today's world to see before you buy. The second point is that start slow. You can still do a bulk of your shopping online, right? But keep at least some things to buy from your local vendor down the street. Whether it's a half kilo of bananas, it's biscuits, your mosquito repellent at home is finished, you need diapers for your baby. Some things can still be bought, and take a small chunk out of your order to pick up on the way back. Now you still may say, why? Well, you may assume, and this is my third point, you may assume that they aren't always cheaper or better, it's more inconvenient, right? But when you speak to a lot of these shopkeepers, they know how e-commerce is slowly driving them out of business. A lot of them are more willing than you think, right? So what does that mean? They give you discounts. For example, as a family, we have negotiated with a pharmacist that gives us a decent discount as well as home delivery, so we don't have to shop online. And a lot of pharmacists do that. A lot of local kirana stores will do that. They even give you things like credit, right? You don't have to negotiate to take shirts off your hands, that's not the point. But there's still some benefits to doing that, right? Which gets you close to the commercials involved in online shopping.
the fourth and the last point. You may say that online shopping today is so easy, right? I have my app, I order something, so it comes home. I don't like the design, I don't like the fit, and I can return it, with the press of a couple of buttons, no questions asked, return policy. Well, all I have to say is, again, you can do this in stores as well. There's nothing like a personal rapport, right? When you go and return something to a store, when you have a personal rapport with someone, they also have return policies, right? And that's what makes it easy to converse with them. And if all of this doesn't work, well, be better people. It's okay to spend a couple of rupees more on a packet of Maggi noodles because you are helping out a family whose only business is running that store, right? I happened to go to our family butcher, last month, and they said that COVID, for them was really bad, and because of some of the meat bans and all of that, they had to take one kid outside college. You see, these are the real life consequences of us not directly patronizing these kind of mom and pop kirana stores. Don't let that happen. Let these people continue to earn their livelihood and put their children in school. Please go to your local store down your streets and patronize them. Have a chat with them and pick up something from their stores. Thank you.
What a great message. Open for local. So, body movement every day. Let's go to some of the kirana stores. Let's give priority to them also, because economy is dependent on them, not on the online. So with this, from the point of never give up, to the confidence, to the finding the opportunities, to the bringing the importance of open to local. Thank you, pilots, for giving this wonderful insight to our passengers. So, audience, what they deserve. A round of applause. Now it's time for the plane landing. BDMC 1339 had to be landed to board the new members. And to take this responsibility, we have one amazing person who is very humble by nature and energetic, love to bake, but also love to serve to our Toastmasters every time. Who is none other than Toastmaster Surekha ma'am. I request everyone to vote for speakers of today's speakers. Airline. So the code is airlines. Thank you. Airlines.
Is everybody through with their voting? Okay. All right. Good evening. Thank you, Toastmaster of the day, Jeevan, for the good introduction. And good evening, fellow Toastmasters, esteemed guests. Good evening. And most importantly, Aishwarya, Sachin, and Ratan Chetty in particular. Whenever a member wishes to join Toastmasters, we are required to conduct an induction ceremony. And today, on August the 26th of 2022, we are proud to tell you all that we are ready to induct 3 more new delightful members into our Bangalore Toastmasters Club. And actually, friends, this is a win-win situation. It's a win for them, it's a win for us too. It's a win for them because they are here to learn and grow through the improvement of their communication and leadership skills. And it's a win for us too because we are here to share and grow by helping them learn, improve and achieve. I will now call upon the new members to be one after another to join me on the podium. This new member to be is a Pakka Bangalorean by birth. She is passionate about art, dancing, chai, and loves sunsets. And she aspires to be that go-to interior designer for Namma Bangalore. Please help me welcome Aishwarya. Ladies and gentlemen, presenting to you Aishwarya GS. Moving on, the next member to be is a Pakka Mangalorean by birth. His diverse interests include Bharatanatyam dancing, vocal Carnatic music, and boxing. And he wishes to pursue his MBA studies as well. Wishing him the happiest of journeys, both in his MBA as well as his Toastmasters journeys. Wish that they walk hand in hand with him. Please help me welcome him to the spotlight with endless cheering and clapping. Sachin Satish. Moving on, the next member to be is a business development professional. And he is passionate about two things. They are self-development and probably what each one of you all is passionate about, Bollywood music. Happily married to Gauri. He is the father of two lovely darling boys, Siddhant and Vedant. Please help me welcome onto this historic platform, Ratan Shetty. And now, ladies and gentlemen, I would request you all to withhold your applause till the induction ceremony is over. Aishwarya, Sachin and Ratan, you are about to join an international worldwide organization that is committed towards helping its members grow in their communication and leadership skills. And you are also about to join the historic, the legendary Bangalore Toastmasters Club, which is one of the oldest and the second largest club in the country. And I, on behalf of Bangalore Toastmasters Club, as the VP membership, along with my colleagues, extend a very warm welcome to each one of you.
Thank you.
And the VP membership, Mr. Vaidyanathan, will you concur with me that you have assigned them their respective mentors?
Yes, ma'am.
Will you also concur with me that DTM Rajdeep Manwani, Toastmaster Nitin and Toastmaster Surekha are their mentors?
Yes, absolutely.
Thank you very much. Please occupy your seats. I have also confirmed with the mentors and they have promised, including me, to help them in their mentoring and to share their wisdom and their knowledge with the three of you all. And what I want to say to the three of you all is that membership in Toastmasters, in this international organization as well as in Bangalore Toastmasters, is a responsibility and a privilege too. We are here because we recognize a very significant truth. A truth which says that we cannot do it alone. We are here to travel on the trust and the support that we lend one another. So this means that you must be active members of the club, attend meetings regularly, perform your duties fully, and work towards keeping our club strong, dynamic, vital, and vibrant. Will you all promise to do that, please? Thank you very much. And now I ask you to extend your right hand forward and to repeat this pledge after me. I,
Aishwarya,
Sachin,
Ratan,
in the presence of my fellow members
in the
in the presence of my fellow members
of the Bangalore Toastmasters Club,
of the Bangalore Toastmasters Club,
make this firm obligation
make this solemn obligation
to attend meetings regularly
to attend meetings regularly
and prepare fully for each assignment,
and prepare fully for each assignment,
to apply myself to the projects
to apply myself in projects
outlined in the Toastmasters education program,
outlined in the Toastmasters education program,
to participate actively in club activities.
Participate actively in club activities.
To evaluate others.
Evaluate others.
In a positive, constructive manner.
In a positive, constructive manner.
To build open. Friendly relationships. With my fellow members. And to bring other new members. Into the club. So that they can also. Gain the benefits of Toastmasters. Thank you very much. And you may now put your hands down. Thank you very much. Now I request only the members of Bangalore Toastmasters Club to stand up and to repeat this oath after me. Please stretch your hand right in front. We, the members of Bangalore Toastmasters Club, pledge to support you in your quest for self-development, to provide you with positive, helpful evaluations, to maintain a friendly, supportive atmosphere, to give you opportunities to help others, and to make your Toastmasters membership a rewarding and fulfilling experience. Thank you very much. You may now occupy your seats. And now it is my pride and my pleasure to declare you three as the newly inducted members of Bangalore Toastmasters Club. I now request our Madam President Hannah to present the member certificates to our newly inducted members. And I request Vice President Education Vaidyanathan to help her with the task. Thank you, Madam President Hannah, for doing the honors, and thank you, Vice President Education Vaidyanathan, for helping her with the task. So, you're all welcome to come and be with our BTMC family. Together we laugh, learn and grow, and help each other with all that we know. Loving and kind and thoughtful too. Helping each other and respecting one another is all that we do. You're all welcome to come and be with our BTMC family. Friends, with a big bang, let's welcome them. Now this brings a closure to the induction ceremony, and thank you very much for your attention. May God bless you all.
Like I said, Mom takes enough time to bake. Likewise, she makes enough preparations to induct new members. And what Mom deserves is a round of applause for Mom. Attention passengers, our plane will take off after 2 minutes of short break.
ಸರ್ ನಾವೇನೋ ಐಸ್ ಬ್ರೇಕರು ಮಾಡಿಲ್ಲ, ನೀವೇನೇನು ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀರಾ? 26 ವರ್ಷ ಮೆಂಬರ್ ಟೋಸ್ಟ್ಮಾಸ್ಟರ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರಲ್ಲ ಅವರು. ಇವರು ಟೀಮೇ ಅಲ್ಲ, ಟೀಮೇ ಅಲ್ಲ, ಟೀಮೇನೋ ಯಾವ ಟೀಮೇ ಹೆಚ್ಚಾಗಿದ್ದೀವಿ ನಾವು. ಇದೀವಿ ಅಟೆಂಡೆನ್ಸ್ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ಬರೋಕ್ಕಾಗತ್ತೆ.
Attention passengers, flight number BDMC 1339 is about to take off. I request all the passengers to tighten your seat belt and let's welcome the lighthouse of Bangalore Toastmasters Club. My personal experience, you take up any role and you will get one supporting hand from the back end with all the things we need to get success. A smile is a trademark. Let's welcome Toastmaster Robin sir on the stage.
Are we ready? Yes. Yeah, this is table topics. For the information of those guests and first timers, what is table topics? One is to speak on the spur of the moment without preparation, so that they get the confidence. Second, today we have 16 persons in one role or the other. The purpose of table talks is to provide opportunities to speak for the others who do not take any role today. Now, how to handle table talks? Remember prep. When I give you a topic, make a point, a statement. Support that statement by evidence or some reasons, one or two reasons. And then, most important, recall any incident or real life story that has happened in your life. Man, mention that one. And last one is summarize what you said. Just try that one. And friends, I promise you, easiest topic. Because I want you to speak. Come here to the stage. You to speak. Let me give the topic. When I count their names, just don't run here. Walk steadily, and meanwhile you think what to say. Here's the first topic. Love the life you live, Mr. Richard.
Toastmasters, fellow Toastmasters and distinguished set. It is rightly said, love what you do and do what you love. Two things are very common for the people. One is the uncertainty of the future, another thing is boring. Each one of us feel that we have a lot of time and our past haunts us, future deters us, and we don't know how to spend our time. Mr. Narayanamurthy of Infosys, whenever computers were started in India, he was telling our youngsters should think about computers 24 hours. Amitabh Bachchan, famous dialects in Dawn. I think English, talk English, like this. But what is very important is, whatever you do it with your might, you give a best shot of yourself. You equip yourself to tackle the future. Make use of the time to the maximum, and victory will be yours, and you will be the winner of your future challenges. Go to the tabletop.
Next topic. Life is all about the moments in our lives. Life is all about the moments in our life. Aishwarya.
Good evening. Life is all about moments in our life. This is the best moment for me today. You saw me on the stage. This is the moment that I have been waiting from few months. I was in the dilemma if I should become a member or not. I'm glad I took the decision and I'm inducted today. I'm happy that I'm here. I can only think about this moment right now because it's very special to me for now. Because there's nothing else in my head right now. Because I'm living in this moment. And I am here to learn, enjoy, and everything. There's everything good to come. I'm here to learn. Thank you so much.
Aishwarya never expected that I would be calling her name. Never expected. I saw her. She was busy expecting Saga. How she felt when she was shown by Madam Surekha. Madam, congratulations. Even such type of swearing in was not done in last part of the Next topic. The time is 1.5 minutes because there are many speakers. 1 minute green card and 1.5 minutes red card. Life's big chances come once in a lifetime. Life's big chances come once in a lifetime. Vrinda.
Good evening. Actually, I would disagree with this, that life's big chances come in small phases, because it's up to us what kind of opportunities we can see. It's up to us how present we are in the moment, and we can choose to make the best out of it. Because honestly, I cannot think of any particular moment in my life which was the big moment and helped me elevate my life. So life is a journey, and it's up to us if we take a moment to celebrate the wins on the smooth highway, or if we get overwhelmed on the bumpy roads. And as long as we keep moving, I think we are all equipped to see the big opportunities we get time and again. Actually, it's not about any particular phase. So are we celebrating enough? Are we just getting overwhelmed? That's the point. Thank you.
In table topics, you can speak, or you have the choice to speak for or against the topics. And as Madam Terry said, sense or nonsense. But you have to speak. The next topic, an unforgettable incident of my life, Mr. Sagar. An unforgettable incident of my life.
Thank you, Robinson sir, for the opportunity. Good evening, Toastmasters and guests.
Good evening.
Wow, you really can't be prepared for the topic. Can you, sir, repeat that unforgettable incident. I don't exactly remember right now if I've experienced something like that, but I do remember a story in CBSE about a man who was sitting at a platform with a box of chocolate cookies, right? And another man comes in, sits next to him, and starts picking up one cookie out of it. The man gets pissed, but he does not say anything. Okay, again I lost train of my thought. An unforgettable incident. So they keep going back and forth, eating one cookie after the other, each looking at the other with a pissed look or a happy look. In the end, the man eating the cookie gets up, goes away, and the first man with the box of cookie realizes that he was the one eating cookies from the other man. So, again, thank you so much for the opportunity.
You didn't complete, okay.
Oh, the story.
All of those, they will never forget this incident. We just hide here. Yeah, please. 1 second, I'll give the topic. Life is either a daring adventure or nothing at all. Life is either a daring adventure or nothing at all. Vijay Sai.
Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and distinguished guests. Good evening. A picture comes into my mind every day. There's a picture of a funeral. There's a dead body, garland, and there is cotton stuffed in the nose and the ear, and the body is being taken. And that's my body. And I wonder what people would say. Here's the person who also ran the race. Here's the person who thought, Zindagi na milegi dobara, and tried something or the other. So friends, yes, life has adventurous every moment. What is an adventure? Adventure is not something extraordinary. It's to see extraordinary the ordinary things of life. It's to look at every person eye to eye and give a hug and make a happy day for that other person. Adventure is taking the road not taken, as Robert Frost says. It was the road not taken that made him what he was. Like the poem, the road not taken. So friends, life itself is an adventure. I sing, I'm a hypnotherapist, I'm a regression therapist, I'm into Toastmasters. I never miss an opportunity in life because I realize life has to be lived completely. Thank you. Life is indeed an adventure, and it is left to you how you make it an adventure. Thank you for
A little step may be the beginning of a great journey. A little step may be the beginning of a great journey, Mr. Chair.
So yes, I'm trying to take that little step. So right now I've not been into that great journey where I could explain like what little step. But I could say that one thing, it's not a single step, single little step which is going to help us in our great journey, but a continuous steps each and every day where we take, it is going to determine us, like where we are going to head it, whether in the right direction or not, whether our journey is going to be great or not. So only thing to consider is that little step should always be forward. It should be always move you towards your goal. You should never take a step back. So because like even in the failure, we know that we learn something. The success gives us pleasure and failure gives us the learning. So this is what we have to be on. Over to you.
Life is never easy, we have to make it easy. Life is never easy, we have to make it easy. Ghanshyam Pradeep.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening. As a village boy, you all know Nokha, the Anokha guy. And coming to here, especially moving out of, coming to big cities, it was never easy for me. And coming here and taking those steps, little steps, and I'm working really hard for that and getting into the big organization called SAP. It wasn't easy. Before that, I have faced multiple rejections for communication, for various things. I have got multiple rejections, but those steps, those failures, which actually brought me here, and every single day I'm taking myself, I'm betting myself that make sure I should go ahead. That you all should at least you should call this guy from Anokha, which is Nokha.
Leaders are made. Alan.
You know, I truly believe that leaders are made. Generally, when we are in school, we listen to a lot of books which talk about leaders, and we are just sitting in class and thinking, will I ever be a leader? You know, you look at someone who becomes like the head boy, head girl, and you're like, will I ever be good enough? And these are things that, you know, you always think about. But I believe that, you know, speaking about being a role model in some sort of way, I just want to give a little, you know, salute to my dad. He's a retired person from LIC. At the age of, after he retired from LIC, he started the second oldest service apartment in Bangalore after retiring, and he has been a huge inspiration for me in the sense that it's never too late to start, right? And to lead the way. And every time, when the chips are down, I've been a person who has not done really well in studies, but when I look at people like him, you know that it's never too late to start, to get to somewhere and lead someone on a better journey.
Toastmasters, you just heard, leaders are born. Now, quite opposite to it, Puneet, leaders are made. Leaders are born. Yeah.
See, you have to be a leader to be born. Otherwise, you can nowhere eat your way through the canal. You have to be a leader to be born. And I think somewhere, once we are born, once we are out, we forget it. And every now and then, you get, or us as a civilization, gets to witness that rebirth. Whether it could be a lawyer thrown out of the train in Africa who becomes a Mahatma Gandhi, or whether it's a common African being imprisoned for 27 years, or it could be just Hitler, who first got a sense of his audience and a sense of spark in a bar, giving a speech on a stool. You get to witness these moments where a leader is reborn. And every now and then, we get to witness it. But I just hope we get to witness a leader born in reality. Because those are the best moments of your life. So I hope and I wish you guys get a rebirth too.
Next topic, your time is limited. So don't waste it living someone else's life. Sachin.
I'll just address the first part. Your time is limited. Today, since the past week, the whole week, Surekha ma'am has been like a kid. I mean, she's so excited about all of this,
Your time is limited. Don't waste it living someone else's.
No. The oath ceremony. She was so excited about it. And then, for the past 3 weeks, this is my 3rd week at Toastmasters. For the past 2 weeks, I leave my home at 5:30 and I arrive here at 6. But today, out of all days, I left my home at 5:30 and I'm stuck in my auto. I'm near the Ashoka pillar at 5:45 and I'm scolding the auto guy in Tulu so that, we don't get me back. And then I reached the Kabul Park signal and then it was 6:15. She told me to reach at 6. So I thought one day you'll be a good boy and then all of this is happening. And I told the rickshaw guy, just stop it here, I'll walk. So I thought that's an easy task, I didn't know that time is limited. I thought time is 2 minutes, I'll run, jog, I'll do something. And then again I got down at Kabul Park and I started walking and that's when I realized it's so far from Kabul Park. And I'm running with my suits on and people are wondering, what is this boy doing? Even the pedestrians, they stopped and they were just like, you pass. I think you are in a hurry. You don't even have to wait for us. Everyone. So then I came here at 6:15. I told her I'm really sorry, and she was so chilled out. She was so not worried about me being, late. She just told me it's okay, and I realized that greatness comes with age, and
This is what a person has to do if he has the substance. He has utilized that time. Okay.
Yeah. So time is limited. Thank you.
Never postpone that which you can do now. Never postpone which you can do now. Ankur.
Good evening, fellow guests and distinguished Toastmasters. Let's talk about joining the Toastmaster. I recently joined the Speechcraft program, and I was really postponing it for very long. I've been told about Toastmasters around a few years back by a few of my close friends and family members. I was in a city, I realized I was just got a job nearby at the MG Road, and then I realized coming to the meeting, okay, I was postponing it for so long that I have actually missed these beautiful moments, meeting so many acknowledged people in their career, in their trade, and I could have done it much earlier by joining such evenings and meeting you all very long back, and maybe some other city, and I would have done that and met you all. So yeah,
Life is a journey to be experienced, not a problem to be solved. Life is a journey to be experienced, not a problem to be solved. Mr. Pai.
How many of you know Rakesh in your honor? So, since all of you know, he passed away a couple of weeks back. A brilliant stock trader, possibly, yes, he came with 5,000 rupees, and when he died a couple of weeks back, his net worth is 40,000 crore, which leads to a staggering 55% compounded return the time he spent in the market. That's all of this at one place. But the way he enjoyed his life, that is something I guess you cannot explain it in words. And there is a video which I think you possibly would have seen. He dancing in a wheelchair, dancing to the Aishwarya Rai number. Even at such pain, he was still enjoying the moments of his life. So goes on to show, it's not about the money. I said he had all the money, but the way with which he enjoyed his life, he was loud-mouthed. He spoke his mind, and he had his own opinion on every possible issue or topic on the earth. But he lived life king size, and that possibly goes on to show, no matter you may start very small, but if you begin to enjoy the whole experience of life, you end up becoming something big. That's what I really realized looking at the life and time of Rakesh.
Self-control is essential for our success. Self-control is essential for our success. Mr. Alok.
Well, when you look at the kind of table topics the speakers have spoken today, I realize this topic can actually go both ways. Is self-control essential for your life? On the one hand, absolutely, because all of us, we end up planning for something far ahead. We end up planning for something which is not under our control. We end up being impulsive. We end up procrastinating what is important to a distant future. That way, making self-control is extremely important, so that we stop doing all that. We stop, like Priyanka, or who was the speaker? I think Priyanka today said, what is urgent, important. Draw the quadrant, make sure that you are focusing on the right things. That is where self-control comes into picture, and it's very important for you to lead a happy life, a satisfying life, and go back to sleep every night feeling contented with your efforts for the day. But then, if I just flip it across, is self-control so important after all? Like our newly inducted member Sachin said, time is limited. Do you have to control yourself all the time? Maybe you can just
laugh a little, maybe you can just live a little more. Like Mr. Pai just said, live life king size, be loudmouth, say, have an opinion on everything. And at that point in time, maybe you just feel maybe self-control, living that restrained life, not knowing what to do, what to say, and always fearing someone else's opinion on us, maybe that won't matter anymore. So this topic, Table Topics Master, can go both ways. Is self-control important? Maybe it is, but maybe not so much after all. Back to you.
Last topic, power of example. Power of example. Mr. Waka.
Thank you, Table Topic Master. Power of example. That's pretty important. And there are many heroes in our life. You know, these guys, these people have done a lot of things. And if you look at Rahul Dravid or somebody like people like Rahul Dravid, he's an example for humbleness. So humble this gentleman is. That is something which we need to inculcate. Though he's got all the fame and he's achieved so much in his life, when Bangalore University or the Mysore University wanted to honor him with a doctorate, the man said, "No, I don't want an honorary degree. I will write and do the research and get an honorary degree, get a doctorate, but I don't want something honorary." That's the power of humbleness. He's willing to stand in a queue, not showing off that he's the greatest person, the greatest athlete or a sportsman in India, but still stand in a queue and get it. That's an example that we need to learn from great people who have achieved a lot. That's the power of example, and I'm sure we'll all take something from these gentlemen in our life and go ahead.
I thank each and every speaker in the table of session. There are more names, but the time is running short. May I request Mr. Jeevan to take over?
Table topic is a one-day session where we realize where are the talents of. Some are good at speaking, some are good at giving wise knowledge. And I can see the people after attempting the table topic, the smile in your face, like winning the Pakistan war. So thank you so much for organizing this, and audience, what sir deserves a round of applause. Oh, there is a command from our general evaluator. I need to hand over the stage to our general evaluator. Madam, please be on the stage.
Said that you can actually sit here and earn $25,000 that smile on Madam President and Sai Deepak's face. Actually, I earned, I think, $50,000. Thank you so much for that. We started sharp at 6:30 p.m. Great. Can we have a big round of applause? The Sergeant at Arms, though he was not well, he set the tone for the meeting. The vision, mission, Toastmasters was clearly missing. So if you could incorporate that would be really good. Introduction to the presiding officer was good. How could you make it better? Bring out the traits of our Madam President that we might not know, but we are not aware of, so that we are also aware of few things that she is kept it to herself. So that it becomes something different and a great job done overall. Can we have a big round of applause? Next, we had our president. Sorry for this because all the papers. Yes. What can I say about our president? She is leading by example. There is no introduction to her. The phrase that they say that quality comes only with practice, practice, practice is reflected with our president. I've seen her from the time she was a VP, and since then we have connected really well. And now I see her on a stature, at a different level. And I'm sure she's going to do great in the future in whatever role she takes up. One suggestion for you, Deepak, is as you have been inspiring the leaders of our committee by giving each week every presiding officer is not the same. The presiding officer is different from the committee members. The hats off to you for that thought so that they become great leaders in the future, and you are actually identifying the leaders of Bangalore Toastmasters. So kudos to you for that. Can we have a big round of applause? And next, what can I say, ma'am? I say about your passion. You're a stalwart, steadfast, faithful, firm, unflattering, unshakable, unwavering. To sum it in one word, dedication. The induction of the members to the next level. As one of the Toastmasters said, I don't think so. Even at Rashtrapati Bhavan, the induction takes place in this way. So kudos to you, ma'am. Can we have a big round of applause? Toastmaster of the day, I'll come back to you later. And regarding Toastmaster, Table Topics Master. Just 5 topics, sir. For the first 5 few minutes, for first 5 people. I'm sure you can think of at least in public 5 more.
Good.
You are the bulwark of our club, Rock of Gibraltar. You presented the table topics in a unique, idiosyncratic way. Definitely. You explained what is table topics. You explained how to present table topics. You didn't make it mundane. You were smiling all the time. A smile makes a difference. Inspiration, smile. Everything was incorporated in table topics. You came. I think, if I'm not wrong, it was approximately 11 to 12 table topics. 14. Sorry, something around that. So within a stipulated time, that was really good. The table topics were very simple. Each one could relate to it, and you chose people according to the topics that you had with you. one suggestion, if I may have, tell you, sir. I'm sure we all know that our contest for the table topics is coming very soon. If we start thinking on those lines, and the future table topics masters start preparing our members on those lines, I think that would be a great point to note it and incorporate it. Otherwise, a great work done. Can I request Toastmaster Hannah, Toastmaster Deepak, Toastmaster Mr. Robinson sir to please come up on stage. Can we keep applauding? On the flight, we offer them few chocolates. Thank you so much. And now, coming to the evaluators. First evaluator. May now call upon the first evaluator for the first speaker to please come up on stage. Toastmaster Ankit.
Ankit don't need that area. Ankit don't need that.
Mahatma Gandhi once said, action expresses priorities. And today the target speaker, Toastmaster Priyanka, has conveyed to us the why and how of priorities and our limits. Toastmaster Priyanka, you took the very first step right, that is choosing a topic very apt for the relevant audience, for the audience. The topic was so relevant that each one of us could relate to every part of it because most of us face similar kind of problems in our daily life. We are not able to prioritize things. I think you also know the very thin line of difference between motivation and inspiration. Motivation is where you bring in story which is personal or fictional. But it's always easy to inspire people by telling your own story. So you brought in your own story which added to the speech with a lot of authenticity and credibility. And you didn't just say the story, you also brought out your vulnerability in all the parts of the stories. So kudos to you for that as well. And that made the story sound very believable to all of us. You didn't just say why should we prioritize things, you also told us how to do it. I will remember the PAR technique and I'm wishing to implement it going forward. The stage was all yours, and what I loved the most about your presence on stage was that you used different parts of the stage to make different points. And that's how the audience can retain those points, because you gave those points from different parts of the stage. Body language showed a lot of confidence, much needed to inspire an audience. So kudos to you for that as well. Vocal variety. You are not loud, but your voice was intense. And that fueled your speech with power. And it may have sounded very intense because you spoke with a lot of conviction. You spoke with a lot of conviction that made your voice very intense, and your intense voice brought out the right facial expression on your face, which conveyed the right emotion to the audience. And that's what was very important. And I personally liked that thing very much about you. How can we take the speech to a greater level? The audience tend to remember situations, nature, name, and dialogues in form of conversation. You may have wanted to bring in some dialogue since you narrated 3 stories. You might have tried to bring in some conversation dialogues which we could have remembered once we walk out of the meeting room. I appreciate the effort that you took to engage with the audience with the questions that you asked, but please be very careful with the questions and what kind of questions you should ask to the audience and how many number of questions should you ask. Because after a point of time, you're asking questions, but the audience was reluctant to raise hand or answer to you. So please make the questions very appropriate or very less in number. That will help you out in your next speech. Great inspirational speeches have great pauses. Right? So when you make a point, pause. So that point is so strong enough, it comes out so strong enough that it just sinks in to the mind of all the people in the audience, and people remember that point for a very long time. While you told us the story about your sister coming to Bangalore, your dad, and your manager, your work, I would be more interested in listening to the hustle that you made with the technique that you educated us on, the PAR technique. What was the kind of hustle you made with that technique that helped you out in improving? Right? So every inspirational speech should have a hustle in it, and we the people get inspired by the hustle and not the result. What I love the most about your speech is that you did not come here with a success story like every other speaker. You came here to tell us the efforts that you made to move from point 0 to point 1, the improvement that you have shown. With that, I would conclude my evaluation, but please remember one thing: next time your sister visits to Bangalore and you are not able to meet her, please give my number. Thank you so much.
Ankit, that was a crisp evaluation, and I agree with you totally. I think you would have heard Sudhir Pichai's new mantra to reward not the outcomes but the efforts. So yeah, so you literally actually put it in today. Thank you so much for that. Can I call upon Can we have a round of applause for both of you? Come up on stage and speak. Negative, positive, whatever it is. To come up on stage and speak, it really takes guts.
With that, can we have a round of applause for the general evaluator? She is driving the energy the way it has to be.
The next evaluator, Toastmaster, Ganesh Raj. Yeah, George please. Yes.
With confidence, you are one before you are started. This has deeply etched into my mind. Good evening, Toastmasters, all my dear guests, and specifically Toastmaster Confident Vijay Kalpundri. So, I could not better or best encapsulate other than bringing it to the boundary of taking the abbreviation of confident itself to give you the evaluation on your speech. So first of all, on C, on the clarity of your words, not only in your words, on your thoughts, and the simple words what you use, not the hi-fi words which the normal people could not apprehend. So it was very beautifully narrated. Coming to the O part, it was organized. From your dressing etiquette and your speech narration was well organized. Coming to the N, always you bring the newness in your speech. Last time when you introduced yourself, you told about your birth of 1983 as the India's World Cup. This thing, I born in 1983. I never thought of bringing that
innovative way of bringing that point. You always bring that newness, and it's always a pleasure to hear you. And today you brought 3 psychological tricks and tips to boost up our confidence. And for sure, if we check the barometer of all of our audience of today's confidence, for sure would have been increased today. Kudos for that. Yeah, your speech was very fascinating. And it was dealt with many elements, which I will speak on the later part. And then also is the funding part, which you spoke about 25,000. I slog like anything. If 5 days a week, all night. When you told about 25,000, I thought, oh, what is this? Then you told to smile. Then I made a big smile towards on the left. Then you told the adrenaline is flowing out. For sure, I didn't got the 25, but there was the adrenaline triggered in my body. Thanks a lot for that. I for interest, yeah. Your speech brought you thought about the topic which is of interest of a larger audience. We are all here today to boost our confidence. Yeah, why we are here today? To boost our confidence on our speech, our communication, our leadership, our networking. And you brought the right traits or tips and tricks of this speech. Thanks a lot for that. D, you demonstrated all the traits of the speech on the voice modulation, on the eye contact, and so on and so forth. That stands for D. E, you accepted all the things and also on the eye contact. You've given a very good high tip to that psychological listening research on 4 minutes. I would try today. My wife may take on the steering level, but you have boosted my motivation so high. I will still take that risk, and audience also can take at their discretion. Yeah. So, again, your beautiful narration. You brought that narration of that mechanist in the automobile sector, in the Toastmaster. You're excellent storyteller. You're narrating very beautifully. T. You finally, within the framework of today's what, given the guideline, myself I didn't see anything where to excel. You have taken off to the sky with the flying colors. So thanks a lot, and I was fortunate to be your evaluation. So with this, for me the takeaway is smile every mile, comfort the fear, and third, keep a good eye contact. Thanks a lot.
Was not only good, he was great. And he was not distracted by the knocking on the door. And one thing what I liked about him was, after he finished his speech, presenting his speech, he went and go to the door. How many of us thought of doing that? None of us did that. So can we have a great round of applause? Sweets to you all. Thank you. Our next evaluator, can we have on stage Toastmaster Surekha? Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and guests.
Good evening.
Can we have a round of applause for our speaker, TM Teresa? TM Teresa, that is because you did exceptionally. This is your icebreaker speech, but you exceeded all expectations. Starting from the basics, things like stage use, eye contact, comfort level, gestures, voice modulation, clarity, and retaining interest. And I think that was one part you did very well, retaining our interest all through the speech. And that is the most important aspect of any speech. You had a strong start. You grabbed everyone's attention by demonstrating how your teacher shouted at you and made you hold that sign.
well crafted. For example, you made your speech interesting by deviating from chronological order. After your introduction, you went back to how you were born. And that added a little bit of interest, just the right amount of interest. You also talked about how you hated maths class. And then later you circled back to mentioning your maths teacher, Mrs. Shambhavi Devi, who came as a PTA, for a PTA meeting. You also kept us in suspense by referring to yourself as a third person right till the end. That added a little bit of suspense, and I know everyone knew that it was you, but that was a great technique to use in your speech. Your speech was well executed. You had a great range of vocal variety, from how your teachers shouted at you to how you went soft when the speech called for it. You spoke with passion, and you had great gestures and stage use. I especially loved how you went and sat down on the stage to demonstrate how you got thrown out of class. But even as a DTM, there is always room for improvement. And here are my suggestions for the future. You gave us a 360-degree view of your life. You talked about your family, your career. But one thing that I thought you could improve on was balancing your speech out. For example, you spoke a lot about your childhood, but your life as an adult seemed a little rushed. So it would have been great to see that amount of balance. Your speech title was Never Lose Hope, and that's what you ended with. Now you had a strong introduction, right? But your conclusion was not as strong. I felt that your transition to the part where you said never lose hope could have been improved on, and we could have seen that meaning come out if you had brought out that transition. You also stumbled a couple of times by talking about your better half. Perhaps a little bit of practice might have added that polish to make your speech excellent. Overall, you had a great speech. And you did that by crafting it well and executing it well. You gave a speech that everyone enjoyed. I like how you talked about things like maths class, and also how we all love hearing and applause in Toastmasters meetings. This was a truly outstanding speech, DTM Teresa. I speak for everyone and I say we all enjoyed your speech. And I personally can't wait to see how you take your next speech to the next level. Back to you, Angie.
DTM Teresa. As you said bitter, I said Toastmaster. So, Toastmaster Chaitra covered the whole aspect. One thing I would suggest to you is, if you want to use the speech for vocal variety and laugh and body gestures, you can use this speech. Thank you so much. Can we have a big round of applause?
Dear guests and Toastmaster Aaron in particular. I'll keep my English in short because we're waiting for Surekha on the snacks. Yes. So this speech was about inspiring the audience. Toastmaster Aaron, did you inspire the audience? Let us find out. You had one theme during your speech, which is vocal for local. Avoid buying from big companies and buy from small kirana shops so that they could benefit. Big companies are anyways making profit, so let us buy from them, so encourage them to get them up and running after COVID. What went really well? What did you excel at? You have a very good command over language. Your usage of language, vocabulary was excellent, exemplary usage. You had a smile on your face when you spoke, and when you have a smile, the audience can connect to you in a better way. Your stage presence, you were so confident that you were talking as if you were talking to a group of close friends. Your hand gestures, your body language, they're all up to the mark. Where could you improve? Your speech was very good. How would you take it to the next level? The first point to notice, your speech rate. In some cases, when you were about to finish your sentence, you hurried it up. You could not understand what you were trying to say when you were about to close the sentence. And one of the requirements of this particular project was to inspire our audience. So I asked a couple of people here if they were inspired. A direct question to them. One standard response was, I could not hear you properly. Because your volume was very low. I think it would reach probably the first 2-3 rows. I think the people at the back struggled to hear what you were trying to say. Considering this is a very big hall and you're not using the mic, you could have increased the volume of the speech. Because your volume was low, it felt that your energy was also low. Even though you were making all good points, the points were really brilliant. But because of the volume or the lack of volume thereof, your energy seemed a little low. The last point, and in my personal opinion, is that when you are trying to inspire your audience, if you would speak with emotions, the connect would be much better. So there were cases where the voice was a little monotonous, and if you could show the emotions in your speech, probably have a direct, indirect speech. If you quote the butcher, the personal butcher you spoke about, you gave all good examples, but if you could quote a direct speech, probably the connect would have been better. The last point is you started your speech by saying, let me start with a question. Now, instead of saying, let me start with a question, if you directly start or directly ask the question, that surprise element would still be there. So, having said all this, it was a brilliant speech. These small observations, if implemented, will definitely take it to the next level. So, congrats on your good speech and looking forward to hear more speeches from you.
Your observations are absolutely right, and I have nothing to say about it. Crisp evaluation covered up all the aspects of speech, and Toastmaster Aaron actually went to Shobha Mall to get this. So but I was inspired before your speech. Thank you so much. And now for my Genie team, that is the tag team. Tango, Vishwanath, Toastmaster Vishwanath, can you present?
Okay, I'll go ahead and quickly share the timing part of it. The prepared speeches, I think all the prepared speakers have crossed their time limit. Specifically, Priyanka 8 minutes 10 seconds, Vijay 7 minutes 38 seconds, Vidyam Teresa 6 minutes 5 seconds, Aaron 7 minutes 20 seconds. And coming to the table topics, I think only the least that was utilized in terms of the stage was Toastmaster Aishwarya 40 seconds and Ghanshyam 52 seconds. Over to you.
Malcolm Gladwell defines outliers as people who do not fit the normal understanding of achievement. Okay? But what that means is outliers lie at both the ends of the spectrum. One end doesn't necessarily mean to be bad. It could be just different. To begin with the different ones, we had Toastmaster Aaron and Toastmaster Vijay as part of the prepared speeches who were more different than our normal understanding. And during the table topics, we had Sagar, Toastmaster Alan, Toastmaster Ankur, and Toastmaster Ganesh. The other end of the spectrum, the extraordinarily normal people or the better outliers I would like to call. We have Toastmaster Priyanka, TTM Teresa and Toastmaster Surekha as part of the prepared segment. And in table topics, we had Toastmaster Aishwarya, which is Sai, Chirant, Puneet and Alok. And the last 5 names that I took, Robinson sir, that's just a suggestion for additional 5 chocolates you might want to give. Thank you. Back to you.
The remaining.
Right. I think I forgot to say one thing at the beginning of this meeting, that is all the best to everybody who could come up here and speak. And I think that was not required because I think everybody was pretty good in the usage of this English language today. I've noted down a few, so let me just come to a few of the lines that I thought was used very well. The first one being more present in the present. Hit my workout station, caught in a whirlpool of work, diluting my focus, smile every mile, this is your silver bullet. Now coming to the places where there can be a little bit improvement is oftenly, has taken off, is taking off, has taking off is taking off. Which had some issue, which had some issue, is just which had an issue. Why you are not, indeed either why aren't you or why are you not. Take signature is get the signature. Every and each is each and every. Now coming to the usage of word of the day, I think Vishwanath used the word once. Nazi ma'am used it twice, Teresa ma'am used it twice. And there's one thing that I actually liked in today's one quote, a short quote, which was just in 2 words I'll say it, Gyan Shots. That I think was pretty nice. And, yeah, thank you.
So now we come to the Toastmaster of the day. You literally made us feel that we were on an aircraft. I love the energy and enthusiasm with which you actually carried the whole meeting. We spoke and coordinated well before the meeting. A few tips for the future members who would like to take up the GE and teamwork role. You have to sync and jive with each other. Otherwise, you don't know when he's going to call or he or she is going to be invited. My suggestions would be send a questionnaire which even a layman can actually fill in the questionnaire. I know technology is taking over everywhere, but it makes it easy for all the members. And last but not least, we recognize all the role takers, so please stay on stage and the participants also, so that you can actually make them feel welcome. Yes? And you had some golden nuggets for all the role takers. Keep up the good job. You were interactive. You kindly introduced the speech title twice, so that it sinks in with the people. And speak little about Toastmasters when it started and Toastmasters where it stands now. And the 3 segments, better speaking, better thinking, better listening. And Toastmaster, which again I want to thank you for voting the 2, because not everybody does that. Thank you, and there are a few unsung heroes in our meeting. Do you know from the past 2 weeks, someone else has been doing up the board. It is Mrs. Chetan. We have never recognized her. So, can we have a big round of applause for Mrs. Chetan? And I noticed few actually we have to say thank you. It takes away the power of your speech. So being the quality control CEO of today, as a general evaluator, the quality of the meeting was perfect, immaculate, and impeccable. Madam President and team, inspired, aspire, as you have always been doing. Over to you, Toastmaster of the Day.
Thank you, Toastmasters. Life is a journey. Enjoy your life. I know in the journey we need a break to have Surekha Mouse. So without any further ado, I'll hand over the stage to our husband. Meanwhile, I request audience to vote for the table topic and rotate, let's rotate. Thank you.
The announcements for the week are, we have started our speech craft last week. Many of our speech crafters are here. Would you stand? Would you please stand? Very glad that you are here. We have 25 participants at speech craft, and that is the highest number we've had so far. 25 speech crafters in 25 years of business. And I'd like to start off with the awards. Whatever's ready, a few more are getting done. While you're to vote, if you all have not voted, please do. The best table topic speaker goes to Toastmaster Vijay Sai. The best speaker award goes to DTF Teresa. The best role taker award goes to Toastmaster Robinson D'Souza. The best tag role player goes to Toastmaster Aditya. And the best evaluator award goes to Toastmaster Shashank. Thank you all once again for making the time to attend. The snacks, don't forget the snacks. And I call meeting number 1339 as closed. Thank you so much.
Thank you.